Hello, boys and girls. So some of you may or may not know that April is Poetry Month, and there are so many different types of poems, as you can see some of them on our cover page. So there are acrostic, quatrain, limerick, couplet, haikus, free verse, ballad, concrete, parody, and so many more that just wouldn't fit on this page. So this week we're going to take a couple days to kind of zone in on just a couple of these poems. We're going to practice reading them and writing them, and if you'd like, by the end of the week, you can go ahead and share your favorite ones. Okay? So today we are going to focus on acrostic and quatrain poems, probably the most recognizable poems. Okay? So let's go ahead and start with acrostic. So acrostic poems are poems where each letter of a subject begins a line of the poem. So in this example right here, our subject is teacher, and each letter begins a line of the poem. So there are 7 letters and 7 lines. So the first one, T, trusts that I can learn. E, eases my fears. A, always understands. C, cares about my life. H, helps me make new friends. E, excited over my success. R, reads amazing books to me. So to practice writing an acrostic poem, and you've maybe practiced writing acrostic poems before, we're going to practice with the word poems for Poetry Month. So I'm going to start by spelling poems right down the left side. So Poems. And I gave myself a bunch of room in case I need to go on to below. Alright, so P for poems. I'm going to say people who write them are poets. People who write them are poets. And ideally, you would want your entire line to only fit on one line. But I'm trying to write big enough so that you can read it at home while you watch this video. So, O. Let's see. An O line for about poems. I'm going to say opportunity to express. Oh, and look at that. I was almost successful keeping it on one line. All right, so that's P-O-E. E is kind of tricky, so I'm going to skip down to M, and you can do that too. You can skip around. I'm going to say poems make me think. And look at that. I was successful with that one line too. S. Sound. Poems sound good to my, I'm going to squeeze it, ears. And back to that E. E, poems, everyone can do it. Everyone can write a poem. Look at that. We just wrote a poem together. All right, friends, so this is an example of an acrostic poem, where each letter of your subject begins the first letter of your line. All right? So, when you get your acrostic poem sheet, you can go ahead and practice in this space as well. So, going over to quatrain poems, these are probably some of the most recognizable poems. So, a quatrain poem is a 4-line rhyming poem that can be written in the following rhyme schemes. And a rhyme scheme is just a pattern. So it can be written in the AABB pattern, the ABAB pattern, or the ABCB pattern. Okay? So this first example, sitting at the table, reading a funny fable, giggling over a crazy hare, I fell off my chair. So you notice that this is following the AABB rhyme pattern, which just means these first two, the ends of these first two lines rhyme, And then the ends of the second two lines rhyme. A, B, B, table, fable, hair, chair. I'm going to practice that in this first box. Let's see. I'm going to write about summer because honestly, I'm kind of sick of the snow and cold weather. So I'm going to think about some warmer weather. Let's see. The best season is summer. Try and squeeze it all on the same line. Because winter can be, a bummer. I just like to go outside. I can't fit it. And play. Instead of waiting for May. And notice that the first two lines rhyme, so I followed that A, summer, bummer sequence, and then my last two lines rhyme where I followed the B, B sequence, so play and May. Summer, bummer, play, May. That A, B, B. Now let's look at the second pattern, or the second rhyme scheme. So it says, the monkey was doing kung fu. He was moving left and right. He knew just what to do, although he looked silly in a fight. So, kung fu, do, right, fight. Oh, I like this one. I'm going to practice this one too. Let's see. So, right now as I'm recording this, it's 12:30. I'm getting kind of hungry for lunch, so I'm going to write about being hungry for lunch. There's a rumble in my belly. I think it's time for lunch. I have a peanut butter and jelly and a Capri Sun fruit punch. All right, there's my 4-line quatrain poem that follows the A-B rhyme scheme. So if I look at the ends of my lines, there's a rumble in my belly. I think it's time for lunch. I have a peanut butter and jelly and a Capri Sun fruit punch. Notice how every other line rhymes, or my A lines rhyme and my B lines rhyme. So I challenge you to practice some quatrain poems in your spaces as well. And you don't have to use the space. As you can see, it is kind of small. So if it helps you to use a larger piece of paper or a line sheet of paper to make sure that your lines stay on one line, you can go ahead and do that. All right, and the third type of quatrain poem is the A-B-C-B scheme. I won't practice that, but I challenge you to practice. So here's an example. When I came upon a snake, I didn't know what to do. I stood scared and frozen. He was frightened too. So notice that there's only the first line has that ache sound, that ache rhyme sound, and none of the other ends do. But if we look at that B line, we have do, to, and our C line is frozen. This is the trickiest type of quatrain poem, the trickiest type of 4-line poem. So again, I challenge you to try it out, But if you only try the first two, using that AABB rhyme sequence or the ABAB rhyming sequence, you can go ahead. Alright friends, so this was your first practice with quatrain poems and acrostic poems. And like I said, for the rest of this week, we will be practicing a couple other types of poems and having fun with them. Alright friends, enjoy!